Houston, thank you for tuning in this early morning. It was a wonderful day. Great to see our friends arrive. So thank you so much.
Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, the two NASA astronauts who have remained in space for 9 months, are one step closer to returning home after a SpaceX capsule docked at the International Space Station early Sunday morning. The Dragon spacecraft arrived at 1:35 a.m. Eastern Time with 4 astronauts on board from the US, Russia, and Japan in a crew swap mission and were welcomed by Williams and Wilmore as well as the rest of the crew.
Hey, Crew 10 has had a great journey up here, about 28 hours to get back up to the space station, and I cannot tell you the immense joy of our crew when we looked out the window and we saw the space station for the first time. Returning for a couple of people, very first time for a couple of people. And let me tell you, that is such an amazing journey. You can hardly even put it into words. The ride up on the Falcon 9, orbiting the Earth for the last couple of days, it's been absolutely incredible. And it is something that none of us could do by ourselves. As we've said before, you cannot be great without the greatness of others. And I tell you, the greatness of the ground control teams have really shined through in the last few days, getting us up here safely. Thank you very, very much.
Houston, thank you for tuning in this early morning. It was a wonderful day. Great to see our friends arrive. So thank you so much.
Williams and Wilmore have been in space months longer than planned for. The pair had initially set out on an 8-day mission back in June, but after the spacecraft, Boeing Starliner, experienced technical issues, their time there was extended. Despite the unexpected circumstances, in an interview with CNN's Anderson Cooper in February, the two astronauts said they did not feel stuck or abandoned.
I don't want to get into politics at all, but I know you've been asked this question before. There's some who've suggested here, President Trump, that you were virtually abandoned by the last administration. Again, I know you've been asked this question before, but do you feel you've been abandoned?
We don't feel abandoned. We don't feel stuck. We don't feel stranded. I understand why others may think that. We come prepared. We come committed. That is what your human spaceflight program is. It prepares for any and all contingencies that we can conceive of, and we prepare for those. So if you'll help us change the rhetoric, help us change the narrative, let's change it to prepared and committed, vice what you've been hearing. That's what we prefer.
I think I've read both of your records, and they're extraordinary. I mean, all the stuff you guys have done in your careers is just amazing. I'm fascinated, though, by like a typical day for you. Like, how do you sleep? Do you sleep tethered to something? I mean, I assume you're not just randomly floating around while you're sleeping. Are you in like a pod like in 2001 or one of those space movies? That's how you sleep? I hope you don't snore.
So each of us have a sleep station. So it's, from the old days, like sort of like a phone booth size, a little bit bigger than a phone booth.
A little larger than a coffin.
A little larger than a coffin. And it's interesting, though, like it doesn't really matter once you close your eyes if you're upside down or sideways. And so we have one sleep station on the ceiling, one on the floor, and 2 on either side.
Williams and Wilmore are set to begin their return home as early as Wednesday after the handover to the new crew is complete.